you know we can see you, right? So, EYL versus ATL. Who you got? Getting into the story, Earn Your Leisure went on a Breakfast Club and said that after 6 years of hosting InvestFest here in Atlanta, the city and major corporate sponsors still haven't backed the event the way its size deserves. Atlanta officials and residents are pushing back hard. InvestFest 26 will be here at the Georgia, here being Atlanta, if you don't know who we are, at the Georgia World Congress Center between August 7th and August 9th. Is estimated to pull 40 to 60,000 people over 3 days. So again, we got EYL versus ATL, and it looks like it may be getting nasty. Now I'm hoping this is one of the ones that blow over, because although this is the We See You segment, I want to shift the tone a little bit into like, y'all, we can actually see you. Like, what you're doing is out in the public for public consumption. And we got to understand when we have natural partnerships that lead to win-wins for everybody. So I have a lot of love for each side. EYL, the biggest black financial literacy platform. We got Atlanta, arguably the biggest city for black wealth building. And then they talking about it on our biggest black platform. So we got to understand that sometimes we're the biggest, and sometimes conversation needs to be happening behind closed doors, because what we're doing here, we're teetering over into disrespect. And before we go too far into the disrespect and the non-appreciation, we need to literally take a step back, and someone needs to understand, or somebody needs to be the adult in the room and say, hey, we beefing publicly when really we just need to get the right people in the room with the right people. And that way we can talk about what it takes to get Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, and major sponsors to sponsor, and what you need from the event to actually make them sponsorable. So here's what I want to say about that. I actually just think every single person needs to take a deep breath. Every single person needs to get on the phone. Every single person needs to get off the radio and the internet, and just keep in mind, we can actually see you. We are like a black firm, and we can't have our little younger black professionals out here in the wild not knowing how to play spades. So real quick, spades lesson. Lauren, I know you know how to play, so get us started. All right. So Braylon, you got to play a club, and you can beat this with an ace or play your lowest club, because you don't want to waste your other high cards. Okay, cool. All right. So now you and Lauren, y'all on the same team. So right now she got the book. So you don't want to knock her over the head. So you want to play your lowest thing, because by all intents and purposes, it look like your team got the book. But the lesson here is looks are deceiving, because...
Wait.
1 second, I got to teach them the most important part of the lesson. Because beat everything.
And you know what? That may be true, but we also got to start this show now. It's not time for no spades lesson.
It's always all right. Yeah. Ray, always with this. Let's start the show.
Can I keep playing?
Come on, Ice.
Hello and welcome to The Real Bottom Line with Albert the CPA, featuring, you guessed it, Albert the CPA. Kind of know that.
All right, y'all, time for this week's segment of stories we gaff about. And of course, if you don't know what gaffing is, Google it. All right, I'm gonna move straight through these. If you feel away, say away. If you don't, Rachel gonna tell me to go ahead. All right, so based on the story by Urban Institute via Black Enterprise, grocery prices are up 32%. Grocery prices up 32% over 5 years, y'all. And more than 1 in 4 working wage Americans are now leaning on credit cards, some on buy now, pay later, just to cover their grocery bill. So people are actually going in debt to survive, to eat.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
That's heartbreaking.
Groceries.
That's wild.
I think we just need to start supporting. Well, I don't know how much this will help, or at least the numbers, behind this, or even the feasibility of it all. But working with local farmers and people that are like, I'm reading this book called, I'm blanking on the title. I have it in my bag, but it's literally a book about how we should have a city, suburb, and rural system that feeds each other. And like we pay attention to the seasons of what crops are in season, like the meats, the dairy, all of that stuff. There's a whole system that can be built to kind of mitigate stuff like this.
Yeah, that's making America great again, but in an official capacity. Because I do think like the middlemen and women are getting too greedy. So everybody at every single point in the chain of everything, like everywhere in the supply chain, everybody raising their prices. Labor going up, and I think it's creating like a circular impact. So the price of everything going up, so the cost of everything going up, so the wages going up, so everything is going up, up, up. And similar to you, I think we got to cut out some of the middleman and go direct to consumer, direct to farmer, direct to everything. And realistically, y'all, I think the government need to step in and just put price caps on stuff.
Yeah.
That goes against, and like you figure it out on the back end. Like the different pieces in the chain of, not chain of command, but supply chain. I think the government need to say eggs cost this, milk cost this, like the basic necessities. And that's not capitalism, of course. We get into a different type of government. But I do think it's time to like revisit that. Because the stories I'm seeing here follow a very similar thing. Anybody got anything else on that? Because we got the next story, very similar.
Yeah, we got a couple.
So our next story, more than 4 million people jumped off. Let me say this cleanly. More than 4 million people dropped off SNAP Let me say this cleanly. More than 4 million people dropped off SNAP benefits between, thank you, Jesus Christ, July 2025 and March 2026. That's about 10% cut in recipients after the one big beautiful bill, 186 billion with the B in cuts, the biggest in program's history. So these two stories are practically one story. I'll let y'all go.
I was just gonna say again, it's just really heartbreaking when we as in a society are in a place like I remember when Klarna and all that stuff came out. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll be petty. I'll put Fashion Nova and stuff on here, but to think people really need it now to put groceries on it.
Yeah, to survive.
And our government is, while this is happening, our government is intentionally making it worse at this point. That's just a sad place to be.
Yeah.
It's getting a little crazy out here.
Yeah. So everybody in the room is nodding, y'all. I know I'm on camera, but the room is agreeing with Ray Resdall. So we got two themes, and then we got I love how things work sometimes. None of these broke stories, but it do look like we got broke, boomer. Based on a story by the Wall Street Journal, well-off boomers are not downsizing in their old age, they're upsizing. Empty nesters own 28% of 3-bedroom homes versus 16% for millennials with kids, and boomers are 42% of buyers. The boomers were the first generation. Never mind. No, I'm coming back to that. I'm gonna let y'all speak first, and I'm gonna actually say how I feel about boomers, and not hatefully.
I mean, I'm just happy they're enjoying the wealth. Like I say, live your life to the fullest. If you want to buy a bigger house and even pass it on to, the next generation. If you care about that type of thing, I say do it.
Yeah, I think that's the real question for me. Like, okay, what y'all do with this extra space? If you are like supporting other family members, we have like multi-generational living in one home, then that makes sense. But I do feel a way if it's like typically what would happen, they'd be moving out of these homes and then they would become available for younger people. Like that's kind of like, okay.
Well, yeah.
I was thinking about it kind of like what you said earlier today, where sometimes it could just simply be like, if I had to get out of the mud, so will you. And it's like, that's not my problem. Like I did what I needed to do. I got all the things that I need to have, and you're not entitled to getting what I've worked for while I'm here. Like I don't have to relinquish what I worked for. You just gotta do your part to get it.
Yeah.
That's real.
Y'all, this segment finna be long. I'm gonna try to get to the point, but I do want to say, and again, everybody take a deep breath, because if you don't hear this the right way with the right intent, this gonna sound harsh. But generationally, so not you individually, as a generation, the boomers are the most selfish generation, I think, in the history of this country. And I'm gonna tell y'all exactly why I think that. I'm not an economist, but if you just study American trajectory through like the times, we're gonna leave out race because we know it's different for everybody. But everybody before that generation was focused on building generational wealth for everybody and passing it down. When we got to the boomers, came that mindset that I'm working for it, I'm gonna enjoy it, that me. And I don't know if it's because they really thought the world was gonna end in 2000, so they was living it up. But I was just kind of looking through, and I think every generation before the next generation sets the stage for the next generation. And America was up, and then it became boomers. And it seemed like capitalism started being a problem. It seemed like they tried to squeeze the juice out of everything. They squeezed the juice out of every single thing, and now the generations after them, for the first time, are becoming worse off than previous generations. I think millennials, I don't know the thing, but I know Gen Y, Gen Alpha, all of that. Millennials are struggling and can't afford to like live. The next generation, like generations are starting to struggle, and I think it's because the wealth stopped moving forward and it stopped with them, and they kind of just showing their mindset about it by doing stuff like this. Instead of getting smaller homes and passing more on to the future generations, they adopting that. They like, hey, YOLO.
But I mean, they're gonna have to give it up anyway, whether that's you want to or not, because you're not gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
So when you leave this earth, I mean, your property ain't going with you.
Yeah, that's what I would urge them to consider, because they are also the generation. Remember last week when we were like, stop losing your dolphin, insert dolphin curse word?
Yeah.
Because they just don't care enough about future generations. So they not setting up estates, they not setting up wheels. They literally out here making it rain because they don't care about the future generation. That,
Going back to the state.
yeah, so they don't care. Anyways, segment too long. But and I don't want to attack boomers, but I'm talking about it. No one individually, but it's just as a generation. You know, I'm a millennial. We that computer generation, and I think we're a little bit entitled. You know, Braylon, you done had your head down in the phone your whole life. We don't know what's gonna happen to y'all and your sisters. We ain't even got their stereotype yet. Anyway, so just a stereotype on boomers. I feel like selfishness is going to literally kill the generations that come after you because you took it all for yourself.
Coming to the stage, Albert Yeah.
Hit that jingle one time, Ice. We got a jingle.
Yes, we have lessons with Lauren. Yeah.
Sing, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Live jingles.
That's what I'm talking about. Live jingles. You next week, Ray. Ray, Chris. Anyway, get into the story. 49% of adults under 30, that's almost half, 49%, now live with a parent, up from 37. Did I say under 30?
Yeah.
Let me take from the top. 49% of adults under 30 now live with a parent, up from 37% in 2019. That's by the Federal Reserve. Same report found financial well-being dropped for young people and for specifically Black Americans.
It's tough out here. Golly.
Look like, based on what we were talking about earlier, look like the boomers got all the houses. Anyway.
I mean, I think kind of goes hand in hand, though. The boomers are keeping their houses and their kids are staying with them because, you know, life is hard and inflation is crazy. Folks got to put groceries on credit cards and whatnot. Like, it's just getting hard. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing, but I got to correct you on these boomers. Guess what?
You ain't give them a break.
I can't because they did this to us.
So they were selfish.
They did this to us. I can't give them a break. They kids are not under 30. Boomer,
Some of 'em might.
Boomer kids are 50. Anyway, I would just like to say it's really smart to keep. I'm still on. Y'all know how it be. You do these segments. Ain't enough break between the segment. I'm still mad. Anyway, I do think it's super smart to build wealth as a family, as a team, as a unit.
Yes.
Now, I do think there are cases where under 30 people can take advantage and take for granted living at home with their parents and not like contribute. But I think executed properly, everybody can be staying in one family home
Yeah.
while everybody getting their careers together, figuring out what they want to be in life, figuring out what they want to do,
Yeah.
and contributing around the house, one household, because I think we learned this lesson from Hispanics. It was funny, that's 10, 15 years ago. It was funny when
Yeah.
all of them went packed into a little car, all of them packed into a little house.
Yeah.
Look at 2026.
Now they got all that.
They got the big houses. They got the nice trucks. If you just study group economics, you understand why this story makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense because I mean, if
This
you're
is what the
under
boomers were supposed to be doing.
well, yeah, but if you're in the 30, you can stay at home with your parents, stack up the little bit of bread you can, go buy you a house,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and also having like grandparents in the home if you got kids, if you're in the 30 and you got kids, you know, having that multi-generational, you know, living situation. It's, you know, it's a perk.
How many times you gonna say you know? We know.
A lot.
Anyway, though, I think multi-generational living is a very common thing
Yeah.
amongst other cultures and stuff. I think America just has like this weird, everybody needs to be rich and everybody needs to be on their own, and you need to get married early, you need to have it all figured out early.
Yeah.
You need to be like you an adult at 18, you grown at 21, you need to have it all figured out by 25. It's like and it just don't go like that. Like we talk all the time around right choice. Like I'm 39. Some of the ladies here in their mid 30s. Some of the ladies here in their mid to late 20s. And we just talk about how like you really don't start feeling grown until you coming up on 40. And it's like it's wild to think that like there are people who's supposed to have it figured out by like 25. Cause you ain't even who you gonna be yet.
You still a baby.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you have left on this? I don't have a lot on this. I'm just outside of that. I think it's brilliant. I think that's what we gonna try to do. We gonna try to convince our kids to stay. We got a big enough house, and then when we become the old generation, guess what we gonna do with that house? We gonna sell it and we gonna move into a reasonable. No, we not gonna be millennial boomers. We gonna actually clear space for somebody, and we gonna actually set up our children to take over this wealth that we accumulated.
Yeah, but even in our neighborhood, that's kind of what has happened. The older people have moved to smaller homes, like out in the country, or like they're like, I'm moving to the mountains.
Yeah, cause you get
And newer families have moved into the neighborhood.
you get to retire to wherever you want to go.
Yeah, because what you need a big old house for if
Why-
it's just you?
Why you retiring to the community? You supposed to retire to the beach, the mountains, the city. You get you an apartment downtown where you can walk. Why you retiring to somebody's subdivision?
Not a subdivision. But yeah, I didn't have much on
If I
this one.
keep talking about this gonna be boomer beef, and I'm gonna actually say how I feel about boomers, and not hatefully. Again, not all of y'all, and not you specifically, just y'all as a generation.
Some of y'all,
We paint with a broad brush.
very broad.
But yeah, I ain't got no more. I think as we talk about broke boomer, I think this flows right into that because people just struggling. People just struggling, and we're gonna have to turn these struggles into opportunity, and that's just kind of is what it is.
Agreed. America is not great at the moment.
Thought we were making America great again.
It's going backwards.
Yeah, you gotta hire the right people for the job. Anyway,
Well, that was Lessons with Lauren.
time for this week's episode of Facts Only. 4 stories, only one is true, and we moving through it this week. Y'all ready?
Ready.
All right. A fast-growing e-commerce company's customer service AI approved refunds it was never authorized to give about $12 million out the door before anyone caught it. Request a refund, get a refund automatically, and you get to keep stuff.
Nice.
2, a company's payroll paid a mid-level employee roughly $2.6 million instead of $26K on a misplaced decimal, then spent months clawing it back. Number 3, a national fitness chain kept auto charging 4,000 members who had already canceled 1.9 million in refunds plus fees after a viral post forced an audit. Number 4, a company burned about $500 million in 1 month on AI software fees after nobody set usage limits and the employees ran the tools wide open. Bray Lizzle,
4.
Ice,
Number 3 sound like my gym. I'm going 3.
Chrissy,
I'm gonna go to gym.
Got to mail in a letter,
Your User,
cancel.
This one's tough. I'm gonna go 2.
and Ray.
3.
As always, some of y'all are right, some of y'all are wrong. And we'll find out right after this commercial break.
The Real Bottom Line with Albert the CPA is brought to you by Right Choice Accounting Solutions, where we give business owners real financial clarity, clean books, true cash flow insight, and CFO level strategy.
Yeah, we do.
So every decision you make is backed by data and not guesswork. We've saved our clients well over $11 million in taxes while helping them scale with confidence. So make the right choice.
And we're back. Okay. I got an idea. Can y'all two swap spots real quick? You come around this way. You come around this way. You come to the host side. Let's see.
So what's happening?
All right. So, Bray, you picked number 4. Company burned through all that money on AI software fees because their company went wild. Yar, you picked your own, or I'm sorry, you Lauren Hurston. You picked your own by yourself, so y'all two had your own. Company's payroll paid a mid-level employee a whole bunch of money. And then the 3 of y'all, we got Chrissy, we got Ice, we got... What can I...
Chrissy Ice Rachel.
I'm calling you everybody but you. You know I know you, right? Jesus Christ.
Do not.
And then I looked over at Ice, I'm like, wait. Ray runs it all. Maybe you're not a name. Maybe you're a voice. Maybe you're a voice that. So, anyway, getting to it. Y'all 3 wrong.
What?
Yeah. Could have swore I was playing fitness.
That's why I'm going first next week.
I ain't gonna lie. In this case, that's the wrong answer, but that's also got to be true because it's hard to get them up. They're gonna get 2-3 more months out of you. But in this,
come here and cancel.
but this is made up for the intensive purposes of this. But y'all, I mean, if y'all were to take me to court on that one, I feel like y'all would win. All right, son versus wife, pride and joy versus everything. As I said earlier, who would have thought I'd get you? Never been more proud of anything in my life. But it's a fight to the death. And I'm taking side bets. Who you got, Ray? Anyway, to make a long story short, I'm going to hand you this one, and I'm going to hand you this one, and I'm going to press this one. You know where we going? Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah. In your face. All right. Whew. Yeah, boy. All right. Hot now. Whew. All right. Y'all ready? That's it for this week's episode. Whew. That's it for this week's segment of Facts Only. It's time for everybody's favorite segment, Ask Albert the CPA. And yes, I'm going to keep saying it till it's true because this should be your favorite segment. Anyway. Chrissy, what we got this week?
Okay, so I saw you said online that people be talking to the wrong person about how to boost their cash flow. So I want to ask you, the right person, how do I boost my cash flow?
I love it. And I don't know who sent that. Did we get their name? That must be a Facebook friend or something.
Yeah.
Because there's my soapbox on the internet, on my personal page. That's my soapbox. Anyway, So the answer to your question, how you boost your cash flow, and I love that you specifically said cash flow because it does speak to the difference between revenue, profit, and cash flow. So the way to boost your cash flow is actually understanding your revenue and profit and the difference between profit and what's actually in cash flow. You okay? Shut it off. It's a lot going on in his background. We cool. They working next door, y'all, so it's noisy. Anyway, understanding the difference between revenue, profit, and cash flow is key to understanding cash flow because revenue and profit are both on paper. Cash flow is actually real life, and not enough business owners understand it. So how you do it is you actually understand your spending, understand what things are contributing to how cash moves in and out of your business, and that's literally it. Instead of like always trying to get more money, more revenue, it's all about understanding the revenue you have, what percentage of it is going where the leaks are, and all of those things, the credit card, the debt payments, all of this stuff that affects real life cash. And your understanding of that allows you to manage it. And that's how you manage cash flow. That's how people in big business actually do it. So great question. And I guess it's time for us to take it to the bridge, Ray.
Take it to the bridge.
All right, come work with Right Choice. We do it all. If you need accounting, tax, bookkeeping, payroll, what else, Christy? You still here?
CFO advisory.
CFO advisory. What you got, Ray? Everybody.
Yeah, that's what I say. Strategy.
Strategy. I guess
Profit clarity.
that's the calling card.
A real team.
A real
Yeah.
team that's locked in.
Not AI.
Not AI.
Not AI team, somebody who actually. Anyways. We also have a book, so for people who aren't ready for that level of support, I'm gonna knock this thing over like always, Ice.
I was like, you got
Oh! We have a book, Business on a Financial Playbook, and what this does, y'all, this is not some AI book. This is not some cheap lead magnet. This is literally a pro cheat code for business owners who want to understand how to run their business by the numbers. There's only one way to scale a business, and that's by the numbers. This is the book that's going to empower you to do so. I took a 300-page textbook, over 300-page, and I crammed all of the key lessons down into under 100 pages for a busy CEO. So get this book, y'all. It's a pro tip. You can get the ebook for like $9.99. You can get the actual paperback copy for under $20, y'all. Don't keep sleeping on your business. When people put this type of stuff together, you better jump on it before we wise up and make it $100. So right now you can get it. This ain't finna. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of bringing this up every week. Get the book, y'all. It's finna become something that's gonna be expensive. Finna become a tool, and you know once it become a tool and not a book, price go up. Anyways, I'm gonna get up out of here. Follow us on Right Choice on all things. Right Choice Accounting Solutions. I'm talking about Right Choice. Yeah. Right Choice Accounting Solutions on all platforms. Follow me at Albert the CPA, particularly on IG, because you know people go to IG for brand awareness. Facebook too. We starting to prioritize the Facebook. Got a new Facebook page, so go follow me there. Albert the CPA. Subscribe here, like, comment, do all of the YouTube stuff, and I'm gonna get out of y'all face for this week. I will see y'all next time.
Bye.
I still love that.
Oh.